By trading away Debo and a chance that Ayuk gets traded too, are McCaffrey and Bosa the next big names that San Francisco might move on from and take on a rebuild? Keep in mind that San Francisco hasn't extended Brock Purdy yet, though the reports coming out right now are that the 49ers offered Brock Purdy $45 million per year. That would place him 12th in the league, equal with Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins making $45 million per year. That was called a quote-unquote low ball, by the way, $45 million, which is insane.
It is a low ball.
No, I'm just saying it's insane that we're at that point where 45 is a low ball, but it is. Although, Ziggy, I kind of want to ask you here. I know it's a low ball, and I know that Brock wants to be paid in the 50s. I don't know if he's asking for 60. That would be ridiculous. But it's a weird situation with quarterbacks right now where, is Brock Purdy, does he deserve $50 million a year? $55 million?
Yes.
Do you think, can he really elevate San Francisco? Or is he just very good? I think he's very good. But is he the kind of guy who can elevate them like last year when everyone was hurt? I don't know. I didn't think Brock rose to the occasion and saved the team.
Last year is tough. I mean,
a very good quarterback gets paid $45 or $50 million a year. That's just how it is.
That's how it is.
As the cap goes up, right? If you're asking to take the same amount of money as Kirk Cousins, you're actually asking to take less money than Kirk Cousins because it's a smaller percentage of the salary cap.
But how many out of the guys that are above him or tied with him right now? How many? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 13 guys that he's either tied with or would be ahead of him. I think that the Cowboys are close. Do they regret giving Dak $60 million? Maybe. We'll see there. Do the Jaguars regret Lawrence? Do the Dolphins regret Tua? Do the Browns regret Watson? Do the Falcons regret Kirk?
No, but here's the thing: is if you're asking to take $45 million, you're asking to be outside of the top 20 quarterbacks when the contract finishes. I'm sorry, he is not a borderline top 20 quarterback. He's much better than that.
I'm saying I understand that Brock Purdy is going to go for $50+ million for the 49ers. I'm just looking at this if you have, let's say everyone comes back right now who's still on the team. Because to answer your question, I don't think they're going to blow it up here.
It makes no sense to blow the team up. Moving on from Debo made a lot of sense. Moving on from Ayuk makes no sense. Blowing up the team and trading away Brock Purdy when he's not extended, when you've got a team that can win a Super Bowl next year, no.
I mean, yeah, just 2 years ago, they were minutes away from winning a Super Bowl. Last year, there were injuries. It was a tough situation. How many quarterbacks do you think on last year's 9? You have Josh Allen, you have Mahomes, you have Lamar. If you replace Purdy with anybody else besides those three, do they take San Fran last year any further?
Yeah, well, that's a great point. Jordan Love's there. Does Jordan Love do it? Probably not.
I don't think so, no.
Does Justin Herbert do it or Jared Goff?
Does Tua?
Herbert's not done with a Charger.
Probably not. But again, it's weird that we've gotten to the point where that's just the market. So yeah, you kind of have to you have to pay him that if you want to keep him. That's just what it's going to be.
In a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship game.
Well, let me ask you something here. What if they let Brock Purdy go? What, Ziggy? Do you know where I'm going with this?
I'm bringing Aaron Rodgers back to his hometown.
Oh, about Darnold for 2 years.
Oh.
Is that
Brock Purdy with worse Brock Purdy? Really? That's what we're doing?
I think
Purdy took this team to a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold fell apart in the first round of the playoffs.
I think Brock's better than Darnold. I'm just saying, there are other options out there. If I were the 49ers,
that's honestly what it is. It's
worth it.
You get rid of Brock Purdy for a worse Brock Purdy.
You know what's going to happen to the 49ers? They're going to give Brock Purdy the contract. Everyone's going to get hurt again. And then when everyone eventually leaves or retires because they're an old team, that Christian McCaffrey, those Achilles are not getting that much better. When all of it falls apart, they're going to have Brock Purdy on a massive contract, and they're going to be tied to him. And Purdy's fine, but they're going to get stuck in purgatory like all these other teams. That's what's going to happen. So, you can roll out the red carpet for Brock and give it to him, which they're going to do. And it's understandable because you want to compete. But I'm telling you, when we get a year or two removed from this, probably 2 years removed, you're going to look back and go oh, man, wish we weren't married to that contract.
Look, I actually think John Lynch can draft players who are good at football. He's done a pretty good job of that. I'm not worried about Shanahan and Lynch totally falling apart.
You're going to have to roll out the red carpet for somebody at some point.
You probably do. And I get it because you want to compete. I understand.
Finding a quarterback is a hassle and a pain. Purdy's an above average quarterback.
He's an above average quarterback, but again, Is Tua an above average quarterback?
I think Purdy is better than Tua. Purdy's been to a Super Bowl 2 seasons ago.
Zach, if you could right now get rid of Tua, would you do it?
Who would I get?
I don't know. Well, I can't promise you someone.
He
that's
discharged to his contract.
That's what I'm saying.
With nothing.
Yeah, get rid of him. Well, we got nothing. The problem is we have.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Like the thing is, the Dolphins have one of the worst, oldest rosters in the NFL.
But what
if the 49ers are not there?
49ers are a pretty old roster.
What if the Dolphins?
49ers, when they're healthy, are good at football.
What if the Dolphins less than 2 years ago were in the Super Bowl? That's a different story.
No. I get it. I'm saying I understand why you would give there's a window here, but I think the window's kind of small. So you're taking a risk, like giving Brock this money, because I don't think he can elevate a roster. So you're
it's
banking.
A bigger risk letting him walk,
but
and having all of these guys
Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Anything.
Wait, just a backstep real quick. Wasn't Darnold on the 49ers? Don't they already know? Yes. Why would they?
Shanahan loves him. Shanahan loves Sam Darnold.
But they got rid of him. Why would they want him back?
They
know what they had in him.
No, Paul's being.
I'm just throwing hypotheticals. I'm just throwing hypotheticals.
How about Aaron Rodgers?
Other situations. Look. So, gun to your head.
Here's the question. Stephen A. Smith just signed a $100 million contract. Does Brock Purdy beat Stephen A. Smith at football?
Yes.
Then Brock Purdy should get $100 million. Easy.
If gun to your head, Jack, how are you giving him? Let's say Brock says, I want $55 million a year.
Yeah.
You're giving it to him? And you are too, Ziggy?
BCB. Got to give him the dough.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess you reluctantly have to do it.
BCB,
yeah, Paul can't. This is why Paul couldn't be a GM, as he can't stomach the way the NFL works.
I'd be the best GM in the world, I think. I'd take a team to a Super Bowl within 3 years.
I think that I look at the upside of certain situations and I'd be able to properly analyze which guys are worth the money and which guys are not.
I think you'd be a horrible GM.
I'd be a great GM. Who'd be on my team if I were a GM? I'd be drafting the guys like Jalen Carter and Tyrann Mathieu who fall in the draft. It'd be an amazing team.
I'd have no running back. I'd have a great line. I'd have a great QB who I draft late. I'd be amazing.
I'll say this, and then I can move on from the Brock Purdy question. Is say you really agree that Brock Purdy's only worth $50 million a year. He asked for $55 million, right? I guess I get in the sense that's where you are, Paul. You think he caps out around 45 or 50?
Yeah, my problem's with the QB market.
Yeah, so say he wants 55. You think he's only worth 50. You've got two options. You can say $5 million out of $300 million against the cap a year is too much. We're going to let you walk and try and get a new quarterback. Or you can just say, look, we'll lose $5 million in cap space to nothing and try and move on. I think having that quarterback is worth more than trying to maximize your cap space 100%. Sometimes you got to eat your breakfast.
I'd reluctantly give him the 55.
Stop the cap.
I would reluctantly give him the $55 million. And in 2 years, when it all goes to hell, I'd say, why the hell did I do that? That's what I would do. So, yeah, I have no spine.
Or in 2 years when they stink and they can't find the QB, it's we should have just given him the money.
Yeah, there's no way they win here. Ziggy, I'm gonna draw a line in the sand on this Brock Purdy thing here. I'm gonna say I wouldn't pay him the massive contract. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
It's living rent free.
No, it is. I'm trying to. It's a really tough decision, but I think Brock is a great game manager. I think he's a really good game manager, but he's not.
Well, so you just draft a QB and hope it hits.
No, I tell him, go ahead. I say if you think how much do you think you're worth? And he said $55 million. I'd say good luck. And then I'll bring in Sam Darnold. Because I think Kyle Shanahan's great. And then I'd look for my franchise quarterback.
Darnold's just worse than Purdy.
He might be a little bit worse, but in 4 years, I think you're better set up.
Then you're just trying to find a quarterback for years.
No, I have Sam Darnold for 2 years.
You'll be like the Steelers.
2 years. I have Sam Darnold for 2 years, and we're looking for quarterbacks.
You'd be the Steelers. You have a crappy quarterback for 9 years.
Is Brock that great? If Brock's on the Steelers, what are the Steelers doing?
Significantly better.
No, you're better, but where are you going?
Well, I mean, where are they? If you bring in Darnold for 2 years and draft a QB, where are they going? They're going up against the Lions and the Eagles.
We were 14-3 with Darnold. He was awesome. I don't think it's crazy to say that Sam Darnold can do well with the 49ers.
Played in Super Bowl with Purdy 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's very good. Sometimes you make hard decisions. I think Brock Purdy's a really good quarterback, but I don't think he's worth the money.
Brock Purdy takes Pittsburgh to 12 wins and probably third or fourth best team
I
in the
don't think
AFC.
Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback in football.
He's better than. But what's the alternative?
Sam Darnold.
Yes, he's much better than him.
I don't think he's much better than Darnold. If Brock Purdy was on the Vikings, if Brock Purdy's on the Vikings last year, I don't think we're 14-3.
They beat the Lions and beat the Rams.
I think
what?
Yeah, this is an absurd conversation
about how good Brock Purdy is.
I like Brock.
Look, when you consistently play like a top quarterback in the
this is an absurd conversation.
That's it.
I like Brock, but I think he's closer to Darnold than he is a top 10 quarterback.
I'm closer to Darnold than Darnold is to Purdy. This is an outrageous conversation.
The 49ers didn't make the playoffs, and Purdy played a lot, like most of the season.
All right, we got it, Paul. Moving on.
All right, you're just stupid.
All right,
you're now a closet 49ers fan that is coming out that just.
So you'd be the worst GM out of us three by a mile. Is pretty much what we're.
Well, let's get to the next question.
We'll move on to the next question.
Our Ben 5. Let us know in the comments section what you think of this.
Just keep going.